Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and it's really cold. I am currently in the JRE Tobacco Aladino Studios in my garage, the garage of love, and it's been quite the ordeal tonight. I'll get into that in a minute. I want to get the cigar going first. By the way, this is going to be an Ask the Pulpit episode. We're going to take your phone calls and get into all that here shortly. But first, we're going to fire up a cigar. And so today, I am going to be smoking, since I have your calls, I have some time that I can work the cigar and enjoy the cigar. And so it's like having a co-host, but not. You don't have to deal with all the drama of a co-host. You can just, talk to people and talk to yourself. But anyway, so today I'm going to be smoking something a little special. I'm going to be smoking the Padron Ruby Red. It is a 5.75 by 56 made up of undisclosed tobaccos. And this cigar was a limited edition cigar honoring 40 years of Two Guys Smoke Shop. Came out in 2025. It came in both natural and Maduro. This is, I believe, one of the Maduro. It's darker than the other ones in the picture, and to be honest, they made more of the Maduro than the natural. So this is, I believe, the Maduro. So and I want to thank Mr. Ed Sullivan for this cigar. He provided me this, and it was very appreciated. And he gave me 3, and I've smoked 1, and I've been sitting and saving the other 2. And I figured, you know what, today's a good day to have a good cigar. I haven't had a cigar since holy cow, Friday morning. I'm recording this, full disclosure, I'm recording this on Sunday night after dropping off my son. And, I've gone the whole weekend, without a cigar. It was a great weekend, fantastic weekend, but, I want a cigar. So anyway, time to get this guy cut and lit and going. So the official cutting is brought to you by TwoGuysCigars.com. That's the number 2, GuysCigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, hence the anniversary cigar, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, TwoGuysCigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to TwoGuysCigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2, GuysCigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Although, before we cut, I'm going to do something. I'm going to search something here. So, 2. Fingers are not wanting to work quite right. And we're going to go to search. We're going to go Ruby Red. And they are all sold out. I was wondering, I didn't know if they still maybe had a couple, stragglers around, but the notify me tag is up on both the Maduro and the natural, both in singles and in the super fancy boxes that they came in. They came in some really fancy boxes that I believe were made by Selected Tobacco, and they were not a cheap date. They were not a cheap date at all, but, good cigars, but I guess you pay for the good stuff. So anyway, we're going to give this guy a cut here and, get this going because, why not? It'll be good. So while you know what? I just did that really quick. So I was going to tell you the propane story, but now I'm going to just go ahead and light the cigar, and I'll tell you the propane story when I come back from that. So how about I light the cigar, and you guys listen to the greatest commercial that you've ever heard.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino. Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we got the cigar going. We're doing good. So let me tell you guys, the amount of effort it took to get this set up to be able to do this time. By the way, I just took that initial draw on a cigar. There's a spice that's like dancing on the tongue. And I don't know if that's a like, hey buddy, it's been a couple days since you've had one of these or what, but like, ooh, it's like tingling around in the mouth there. It's kind of fun. Anyway, so the amount of effort it took to bring you this episode tonight was immense. It's not so much it was immense. It was just annoying. So I have two heaters. I have two of the little buddies, the little propane heaters. And it's stupid cold out. Pretty cold. And so I turned them on to preheat the garage. You know, I was going to let them run for a little bit before I came out to record. And I did that when I got home from dropping off my boy. And I came out to record, and that one, the one to my left, was dead. And I'm like, shit. I didn't check to see the propane level. And sure enough, that canister was empty. So I checked the time. It's 7:37. And Lowe's closes at 8. So you damn well better believe I unscrewed that thing. I quickly got it in the car. I busted my ass up to Lowe's. I got in there and I got my propane exchange. I was in and out of there. I got there at like 7:39 and I was back in the car by 7:45. So, I mean, it took like all of 6 minutes to go in, drop the old can, pay for the new one, and have them unlock it and give me a new one. So it was no big deal. So I came home, hooked that up, started working, letting the garage preheat again, because I've opened the door now twice, and so it's cold again. And so, I'm good. So I get done in the house. I'm all ready to record. I walk outside, and the one to my right is dead. And I'm like, shit. I knew they were like close together in terms of like usage and when I replaced them and that kind of thing, but I didn't think they were like that close together. And I probably should have lifted that one just to test it, after this one died, but I didn't. But what was I going to do? I mean, that one was still going, it wasn't like it was ready to be swapped. But anyway, so now Lowe's is closed. What am I going to do? I can't do this with one heater. It's just too cold out. So I get thinking. Target's open till 11, and I can buy the little 1 pound cans at Target. In fact, they've started putting out their springtime shit. They've got the Valentine's Day candy and all the like springtime shit. So like gardening supplies, grills, that kind of bullshit. They're starting to put that out. And that includes not just 2 packs, but 3 packs of the little Coleman 1 pound cans of propane. So I go to Target and I buy not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 3 packs of 1 pound cans. So I buy 12 cans. And that is now my emergency supply in case of one of these going down and Lowe's is closed and I can't get up there. So I have an emergency supply going. This one is running off of a 1 pound can. I have the tank to take to Lowe's first thing in the morning to swap it out so that I can get that replaced. Realistically, this 1 pound can, I've got this thing cranked. So if this 1 pound can makes it through this recording, I will be happy. Because 1 pound cans on high, I get about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours out of it with one of these little buddies. You get 4 hours when it's on low with the 1 pound can. Now these big boys, the 15 pound ones, it's going well. I am, this is like the third round of replacing. So, I am still replacing them, but it's still cheaper and way less often than doing it with the 1 pound cans and a lot less waste. These 1 pound cans are disposable, so you just toss them when they're done. So much less waste with the other ones. But on the flip side, though, you do have to be careful with the propane, because that's how you start house fires and stuff. So I always make sure that they're closed and locked off and not in use. And if they're in use, then I'm like in the house or in the garage with it. I was preheating, so I understand I wasn't in the room itself, but I was literally on the other side of the wall in the kitchen. So I guess if it exploded, I just would have been, killed that much quicker because I was close to it, but whatever. Anyway, enough morbid shit like that. Let's go ahead and get into your calls with a little Ask the Pulpit.
Shall we play a game?
You talking to me? I have a question for you.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Ask me about my winner.
You got a question? You ask the 8-ball.
Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
Fuck. Yeah, there's some, whoa. Oh, man. Did a retro hail on this guy. And, the blender of the Ruby Red Maduro, the day he blended this, he chose violence for the retro hail person. That was, wow, that hit. All right. Well, okay, guys. Yeah, it is time to take your phone calls on Ask the Pulpit. And we are going to head to the phone line here. As soon as I clear out apparently every freaking app on my phone to get to it. There it is. Oh my gosh. I thought all right. Anyway, yes, we're going to close out all the apps and get to your calls. But I would say that for future episodes, if you want to join in on the fun, you can give the hotline a call at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. All righty. Let's go to the first caller. Maybe.
Nick, James from California.
I'm doing that wrong. There we go. Let's rewind that.
Nick, James from California.
What up?
Just started my Google Sheets spreadsheet for cataloging my cigars.
Good for you.
For this year. Usually I keep a little cigar journal. They have, you can get like a dozen of them or so for a couple of bucks a piece on Amazon. I think it's like 33 Cigars is the name of the journal, but I have a problem similar to yours, which is I smoke probably 2-3 cigars a day, almost 7 days a week, which puts me in the 700 plus cigars a year.
So you're burning through a lot of
situation. And, after they're all full, I can't really justify, just keep filling them out. So I try and keep a good memory, and I have a pretty good memory. And then I like to keep my bands around for a while. So I've got a collection of bands in glass jars displayed in my home lounge. But then it just starts, you start throwing them in after you glue stick a bunch of them down to sheets of black construction paper. Long story short, Loving the spreadsheet idea. I'm using Google Sheets, and I'm going to learn how to use it. Once I start getting some duplicates on here, I'm going to see if it can duplicate that for me. But right now I've got ranges set on my Google Sheets for the date, the house, the brand, the Vitola, thin binder, wrapper, filler, and whether or not I would buy it again for singles for the ones that I don't have boxes of already. But anyway, Google Sheets is free. No ads so far, and I've worked on it for about 4 days now. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. It helps me keep things organized, and then I can just go right back to the document. And according to Google, using their AI function, it has the ability to identify duplicates and highlight them for you, so then you can figure out how many are highlighted on your sheet, and then you can say, okay, this year I smoked 50 of these, 20 of those, blah, blah, blah. So looking forward to seeing how this works out for me, but no duplicates so far, because as we all know, Brothers of the Leaf enjoy.
Oh no! We don't know what Brothers of the Leaf do! Oh shit, and he didn't call back that day. He just got cut off. Sorry, James. Sorry that my 3-minute time limit cut you off there. Anyway, I'm loving the nerd explosion going on here that you have going on with your spreadsheet. I'm loving some of the categories that you have on your spreadsheet. So let me tell you my spreadsheet categories here, just so that you know, and I'm actually tracking way less than what you are. And I'm kind of sitting here going man, I could add some of this shit. Cause it hasn't been that long yet. But we got the date, I've got the brand, I've got the cigar. So, for example, I'll just give you the super ironic. The first entry on the list, January 1st, brand would be Perdomo, cigar would be the Habano Sungrown. I have the Vitola Churchill, my most smoked cigar of the year last year. Acquisition, bought or sample or gift. Those are my 3 categories. Purpose, podcast or personal. That way I can track what I smoked for the show and what I smoked, for my own purpose. Shape, round or box pressed. That's important to me because I always say I'm not a box press guy. I prefer round cigars, but I want to know at the end of the year, okay, what is the percentage of box press cigars that I smoke during the year? Do I smoke more box press than I think? That kind of thing. And then I have a generic column notes. For example, on January 7th, I smoked a cigar that was a TAA cigar, and I put that in there. There was one where it was a gift, and I designated who gave me the gift, that kind of thing. So, that's just my general notes column. I love the wrapper binder filler concept or category. I think that's a really good one that I may very well steal. The thing about whether or not I would buy it again, I think I generally don't. There are very few cigars that I just absolutely am I would never smoke that again. Would I buy it? That's a different story. And to be honest, there's so many samples that come my way, not to brag, but there's so many samples that come my way that it's kind of one of those well, we'll see. I know the ones I buy, and those are the ones that tend to shoot up the list, it seems. Boy, I totally feel what you're talking about with having all of the freaking cigar bands and shit. When you told me that you liked to keep the bands, I cringed because I'm they get everywhere. They're like cockroaches in that when you see one, there's thousands of them you don't see. I encountered that when I moved from the duplex to the house in July of 24. I found cigar bands fucking everywhere. I'm unloading boxes of books, and there's cigar bands just falling out. There's cigar bands all over the place. And I'm thinking to myself, how are these like this? Because like I generally police up my area. I mean, you know, my desktop here where I'm recording, it's a little dirty, but I clean it off. I mean, I make a pile of bands and cellophane, and then eventually I clean it off and throw them away. The day and age of me saving bands is very, very long past. I have like 3 big glass jars in the house full of bands from a long time ago, and realistically, like the odds of me doing it, they're more decoration at this point than anything. And to be honest, I probably could throw them away and be perfectly happy. But yeah, I don't typically keep bands, but yeah, these things, they get everywhere. So when you were telling me that you have those all over the place, I'm just like, oh, I feel that in my bones. Anyway, I'm really glad that you're categorizing your cigars. I'm glad that the spreadsheet idea is working for you too. Yeah, man, if you were using little books that only track like 33 cigars, I mean, shit, if you're smoking 2 to 3 a day, you're going through one of those once every 2 weeks, give or take, maybe less, maybe more. Yeah, you're going through like a lot of those in a year. So, a spreadsheet, especially if you're using Google Sheets, that's free. So like you're spending nothing versus spending all that money on those little books, which granted, those little books may not have been all that much money to buy, but if you're going through 2 of them a month, I mean, that's 24 books at, let's say, $2 a book. I don't know how much they cost. Let's just assume I'm going to go on the low end and say $2. There's nearly $50 right there that you can put right back into your cigar budget. So you just bought yourself a $50 cigar or 5 $10 cigars if you want, So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. See, better smoking through thriftiness. I like it. Anyway, well, I appreciate the call, James. I'm sorry that your recording got cut off, but we appreciate hearing from you nonetheless. All righty, let's do another call here.
Yeah, hey Nick, Brett up in Massachusetts.
What up, Brett?
Giving you a buzz in reference to your asking about what cigars sitting on, etc. To be honest, I don't really sit on anything. Good. I might pick out a nicer cigar for an event, but I don't necessarily wait on cigars for events. Along the lines of what you said, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, so make today the day. I would say the only cigar that I actually am sitting on is a $100 Saka Unicorn, and it's not really because of needing a special event for it. That's more along the lines of I don't really want to smoke it and feel let down.
Ooh.
I'm sure it's a great cigar. I love a lot of Steve's stuff, so I'm not shitting on him. It's just I have a hard time thinking anything that we smoke these days is worth $100.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Atabey and Byron. I don't know if I'll find this twice as good as those. So that's really the only reason why I'm sitting on anything. Other than that, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. No sense in letting somebody else enjoy your collection. Might as well enjoy it today. All right. Talk to you later.
Brett, you just nailed that right there with that last line about enjoying somebody else's collection. Because in my house right now, I have my cabinet humidor, and it belonged to Scott, who is part of the Smokin' Butts and Tappin' Ash group. And I had Scott on the show before and whatnot. Well, Scott, he tragically lost his battle with cancer in February of last year. And, he had his humidor. Now, your statement becomes relevant not just once, but twice. So Scott bought that humidor from a woman who was a widow, and her husband had it. Her husband was a collector and was meticulous in that every cigar he bought, he would take a little piece of masking tape and he would put it on the cellophane and he would write the month and the year that he bought it or obtained it. And he categorized all of his cigars. I've got cigars in there from 20 years ago that when Scott bought this humidor from the widow, he started going through everything that was in it, and there were a lot of cigars in it. And Scott gave a lot to, he kept a lot, obviously, for himself, but he gave some to the other Smoking Butts and Tap and Ash guys, Travis and Dave. Well, both Travis and Dave and Scott gave me a couple of the, ones that they had. So I have some cigars in there that are like 20 years old that, it's almost one of those things that like, despite everything I said in that episode, I feel that those make me feel bad to smoke them because it's like that's like 20 years these things have been sitting there, and they're probably at this point like the flavor on them is probably, I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, so Scott did that. Well, flash forward, Scott passes away in February of 25, and Dave purchases the humidor and everything from Scott's widow. So now the collection, the humidor, goes to Dave. And Dave has all this stuff. Well, Dave reaches out to me and is like, dude, I don't have room for this humidor. Are you interested? And of course I was, because at this point, I had my Frigidor, I had one of those wine fridges that the compressor went out. And so no motor, it was basically just a sealed box. And I had a Oasis in there, but the space in that was maxed out. I had Tupper doors going and I'm like, yeah, let's get this cabinet. I've since maxed out the space in the cabinet and, I need to start restocking the Wineador because that emptied out when I stocked anyway, whatever. My point to all this is that humidor has shifted owners 3 times. 4, I guess, technically. The original owner, then the collector bought it, then Scott. 5 times. Then Dave, then me. But the true tragedy is the collector's collection ended up being smoked by guys he'd never met. Good guys, but guys he'd never met. And Scott's collection ended up getting smoked by Travis, Dave, and me. And, I guess there's worse people that could have been smoking Scott's cigars, but realistically, Scott should have been smoking Scott's cigars. Try saying that 3 times fast. Scott's cigars. Anyway, so that's the real tragedy there. So I'm 100% with you. If you got it, smoke them. If you got it, go for it. Speaking of which, I'm trying to keep this Ruby Red going because I'm talking so much and it's like gonna start wanting to go out on me if I don't. But to your point about the unicorn, again, not shitting on Saka in any way, shape, or form. He obviously has an audience for this cigar because he's been around for a little while and he sells the hell out of them. I cannot imagine that it's worth $100. It's just my opinion. Truthfully, I haven't found a cigar yet that I think is like worth, well, I say that, and yet for very special occasions, I have bought myself a Byron a couple different times and it smokes wonderfully. Now, is it worth, I think the most I paid for it was $65 out in Vegas. I struggle to say that considering you're literally lighting it on fire. But on the flip side, I got something in the neighborhood of like 2.5 hours out of that cigar. And I had a wonderful time sitting in the Monte Cristo lounge with Noah and his wife, and enjoying the evening. It was great company, and it was a good time. So yes, I would say that. to your point about the unicorn, I wouldn't necessarily, I agree with you. Don't save it for like a special occasion per se, but don't just burn it to burn it. Don't like, it's not a road cigar. It's not a like, oh, I got an hour. Let's do this. You know, that kind of thing. It's a, I have nothing going on tonight. I can really make a ceremony out of this and I can sit and enjoy it. And I think that's the logical way of doing that. So to your point, some cigars are worth not necessarily like sitting on forever, but waiting for not the perfect, but at least the right moment. To make sure that you're getting the maximum enjoyment out of it. So anyway, Brett, I appreciate the phone call. Good to hear from you. All right, going back to the phone lines, we got another call here. Doobie-doo.
Hey, Nick, it's James from Grass Valley.
Hey, I think we heard
you opened the door, so I have to do it. I have a podcast. Here with my buddy Jeff in Grass Valley, California. And our 100th episode is about how the nice cigar or the great cigar or the super premium cigar could be the moment itself. It's James and Jeff present Tales from the Phoenix Cigar Lounge. It's our local private cigar lounge here in California.
Okay.
And long story short, we smoked the Rocky Patel Conviction, the Gurkha Triad, and the Monte Cristo Anniversary Edition 1935 Double Diamante. They are the super premium cigars offered by our only sponsor, Suki Jewelers, home of the Phoenix Humidor. And long story short, we discuss the special moments that we enjoy at the lounge, as well as the special moments we enjoy by ourselves, enjoying premium and super premium cigars. And confession, my buddy Jeff and I went halvesies on a box of Liga Privada number 9 Robustos. When we bought them about a year or two ago, it was like $420 for a box. And I'm still sitting on one, just waiting for the occasion to smoke it. And I felt some conviction. It was like church to just, make the time to take the time to enjoy the cigar instead of like looking for that special occasion.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for everything you do. And if you ever want to do a collaboration, I've sent you my contact information, and we've had a little email correspondences. But if you ever need a guest or you want to be on our show for a call-in, let me know. And looking forward to seeing you at Pulpit Fest if there's still tickets available. My dumb ass did not pull the trigger and buy one that Black Friday sale. So stay smoky, stay safe. Talk to you soon.
Okay, so first of all, let's touch on the Pulpit Fest tickets. Yes, they are going to go back on sale. That was just a limited window. I will say, I think the VIPs sold out, but there's plenty of general admission left. We did sell some of the general admission. I sold 20% of the general admission. So there is still general admission available. Realistically, the difference, I mean, we do a dinner for the VIPs that Thursday night. There's a few other little things for them, but you get still a lot of bang for your buck with the general admission. So I'm not shitting on the general admission in any way, shape, or form. It's and to be honest, it makes it, it's a cheaper ticket for you to get in, and it's a fun time. It's a fun time. So James, be watching. I will make announcements. Pulpit Fest tickets will be back on sale later on this year. Once we get a little closer. I mean, with it shifting to October 1st through the 4th in Palm Coast, Florida. With it shifting to October, the on sale date is going to shift as well a little bit. So we're probably looking at maybe I'm thinking June. I'm thinking June is when I'll put tickets on sale. For that, go about 4 months out from the event. But yeah, you know the date. and you know the location, so you can at least start planning, flights and hotels and all that fun stuff. It's just ticket, and to be honest, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So, yes. So Pulpit Fest is then. Regarding your podcast, yeah, dude, it bug me, and we'll make it happen. It's not. Anytime anybody invites me on a podcast, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's that it's really just a matter of fitting it into the time, and it's a very odd thing, because one of the things that I privately kind of grouse about is when I ask somebody like, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? And they're like, sure, when? And I give them the very generic, like, well, I pre-record, so whenever you have time, you know, whatever date and time works for you, let me know, and I can generally make it work as long as I don't have my son, that kind of thing. I make it very vague. It seems like they always want very specific, like, well, this day, this time, and then they'll tell me like yes or no. And I'm having to train myself to be very specific when I tell people like times. And so like, but I'm grousing. I'm like, I'm giving them all this freedom to tell me when they're free. And why are they struggling with that? And yet here I am literally saying like, get on me, tell me when, and I'll figure out. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Just stay on me about it and we'll make it work. But, as for what you said about the cigars, you said, I'm trying to remember exactly how you phrased it. You gotta make the time to take the time. And I think that's how you put it. And I love that. That's exactly it. If it's important to you, make the time to take the time, find the time in your day to carve out specifically for this self-relaxation technique that we've come to know and love. And that's an awesome thing. And I'm loving that you guys, got that and really like honed in on that, because that it's true. It's totally true. We don't, we take it for granted. And, I don't know. It's one of those things that if we truly just, focused on enjoying this instead of just do, if it's just something you're doing, it's just something you're doing. Whereas if you're taking the time to make the time, or making the time to take the time, then it becomes something special again. And it can be sitting and having a Charter Oak, or it can be having a Liga number 9 that you split a box with your friend with, and whatever it happens to be. The cigar itself doesn't matter, but it's a good thing. So anyway, good hear from you, and let's continue on. We have another call here.
Hey, Nick, it's Andrew here.
What up, Andrew?
Last we talked, you were asking me about my winter setup for smoking outside. Well, it's technically not outside. I cracked my back garage door similar to what you say you do, and I have a kerosene heater with my Barca lounger and my TV out there, so it's nice. The second thing I had for you is a couple years back, I gave you some CO, I think, Final Thirds.
Yes.
I
still have them.
Cigar, and was wondering if you ever gotten around to smoking them, because when I gave them to you, they probably had about 5 years of age on them at least. So now you're looking at probably 8 years sitting in a humidor. So I was just wondering if you ever got around to them. If you did, that's great. I would love to hear a little bit of feedback if you can remember. But yeah, have a good one. Stay smoky.
I have not, and you and I need to sit and have them because I've got them. So they're here. They are in the setup. They're somewhere. I know they're somewhere. I just saw them not too terribly long ago. They're either in one of the Tupper doors or they're in the cabinet. I don't know, but they are in there. So we keep threatening it, Andrew. You live entirely too close for us not to do that. So this kind of comes back to what I was saying about the thing about stay on me because, time and everything else. Like just the days go so quickly sometimes. It's like it's one of those things. It's like, okay, I'll just start with today. It's like Sunday, drop off the kiddo. Then typically Monday goes to, podcast for Tuesday. Tuesday is newspaper production. Wednesday is delivery. Thursday, podcast for Friday. Friday, on that Friday, we got a little time. We have a little time to chill. Saturday, Sunday, typically, that weekend we might be chilling. We might have stuff going, fun stuff going on. I might have a project that I'm working on that takes up some time. But then eventually we get to Monday, podcast for Tuesday. Tuesday, newspaper. Wednesday, delivery. Thursday, podcast for Friday. Friday, pick up my kid at school. Then I have him Friday, Saturday. Then Sunday, we're dropping him off, and the cycle repeats. So you can very easily see how 2 weeks, that's 2 solid weeks, can go very quickly when you're not even paying attention. And then before long, that becomes a month, and then that becomes 3 months, and then that becomes 6 months, and then that becomes 12 months, and now a year has passed, and you got to figure it out. And then, then when life comes along and says, okay, you're going to New Orleans for PCA. So now you look at the calendar, you figure out what days you're going to be gone, you figure out what podcasts you're not going to be doing at the time. So now you're cramming 4 or 5 podcasts into like 6 days, whereas you normally would have had them spread out. So at that point, you're busting your ass, cramming in a bunch of podcasts and getting them all done. You're worrying about this, you're worrying about, and it becomes very hectic. But then you have your trip, then you get back, and you're right back into that normal grind again. So, I guess to my point, Andrew, is that yes, I have them, and I would love to sit and smoke them. So hit me up at some point, and let's make it work. Let's figure it out, and we'll see what 8 years worth of age on those things taste like. So I appreciate it greatly. You gave me those at a Pulpit Fest. I think it was a Pulpit Fest. It was one of the ones that we had here in St. Louis. So it has been a minute. So, all right. We have another call here.
Hey, Nick, this is Sean. I just
what up, Sean?
To ask you because you're the dream analyzer.
Uh-huh.
So I think this is related to your story or the story about the monkeys in St. Louis.
Oh.
So last night I had a dream that I was in like a horse bin and there was monkeys in there, but they were friendly monkeys. And I don't know why I was sitting in there. It wasn't on an exhibit or anything, but the monkeys were like leaning against me and everything. And then all of a sudden I felt this like claw come around me and it was a lion then. Ooh. The lion, I'm like, oh no, it's not attacking me. It just wants, so I started rubbing it and, like petting it and everything. And I'm like yelling for help, and, I didn't know if there were kids around. I didn't want to see them ripping apart and everything. So it was the first time that I actually felt like in a dream that I knew it was a dream, but I had to wake up. So just wondering, well, thank you for putting that in my head with the crazy monkeys. But your monkeys seem friendly. I don't know why we went from monkeys to lions in a single dream. So anyways, analyze that. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, first of all, Sean, I would say that while you're down in Nicaragua, you should be avoiding the wildlife if you're having dreams like that. Because I don't know if they have monkeys or I know they don't have lions, but I don't know if they have monkeys in Nicaragua, but, if they do, you should be avoiding the monkeys because it might lead to lions. Second of all, I would say that you're lucky it was a lion because of the 2 main jungle cats, be it lions and tigers, lions are pack animals and generally are pretty good around people, believe it or not. I'm not saying you should go and interact with them by any means, but a lot of safaris, a lot of people in the countries where lions are prevalent and are around, they don't have that many issues with lions because generally lions, first of all, the lionesses are the hunters. The male lions are lazy as shit. But, but the lions, they generally are pretty good around people. They are smart enough to understand that most of the time when they are there, if there's a human there, the human probably has a firearm, and then they become the prey. So I'm not saying that that's like, it's a fact, but, it's just kind of one of those things. So like, lions, believe it or not, are not the problem. Tigers are the problem. Tigers are not packing. They're not social. They run around solo. They don't hang out with many other tigers. Generally, tigers are individual, and because of that, they are always on the hunt for food and the kill and that sort of thing. That's why a lot of times when you see these videos of like the kids at the zoo and they turn their back to the tiger and the glass is there, the tiger will try and pounce. Lions don't do that shit. Lions, they're fine. They're chill. I think is it cheetahs? Cheetahs are really chill with people. Cheetahs are super chill with people. They actually are really chill with people. Again, I don't recommend putting any of what I'm saying into practical theory and trying it out. I'm just regurgitating what I've seen in various animal Instagram reels and things of that nature from credible zoological sources. Yeah. So the lion itself, I don't, taking that into account, the lion itself may not be the major threat there. But it's still not a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that dream would consist of other than, maybe, maybe you envision yourself surrounded by a bunch of jackasses and you're, kind of comfortable sitting there with a bunch of goofy motherfuckers, and then all of a sudden, here comes somebody serious and wrapping you up, and you're intimidated by it. I don't know. Take that for what you mean. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that one, but yeah. By the way, update on the monkey situation. So, funny thing. The St. Louis City Health Department has said a couple of different times that a St. Louis City police officer, had visual confirmation of one of the monkeys. And that's what they've been going on, basically to say this is not an AI prank. Okay? So, okay, cool. We have a cop that had visual confirmation of the monkey, so the monkeys are real. The goat, I don't know what's up with the goat. Nobody knows. I have yet to hear an update on the goat. Nobody's caught these monkeys. I haven't heard anything about the goat being caught either. So, Lord only knows. But what's interesting is one of our local TV stations here, the NBC affiliate, KSDK, they reached out to the cops, and apparently inside the police department, it's a mad scramble to find this cop. They don't know what officer it was. They don't know anything about it. They have no report of any monkeys being spotted. Nothing. So the cops are basically saying, dude, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But the health department is saying a cop had visual confirmation of a monkey. Now, is this one hand lying about the other hand in order to justify the fact that they've been out there searching for these monkeys when in reality, maybe, just maybe, this was an AI prank? I don't know. If it is an AI prank, I'm super impressed. If it's not an AI prank, then we got to find these fucking monkeys. And if it's not an AI prank and there really was a cop that saw it, then how come the cops can't find the cop that saw it? You would think the cop that saw it would have been going into the station house and being like, guys, I fucking saw a monkey. So I don't know what's going on. But there's something weird in St. Louis, and I'm starting, the more and more time goes by, I am starting to wonder if this was just a very elaborate AI prank. And I'll tell you, I've said it once, I'll say it again. People in AI videos don't fool me. After a little while, you start to realize there's little things about them that just don't quite look right. Mouth, mannerisms, whatever it is. Something about AI people in these AI videos, the brain can pick up on that. Animals, though, animals fool me. Animals will straight up fool me. And I will believe an AI-generated animal video. So, unless the animal's doing something absolutely ridiculous. Like, I've seen these ones where, like, the cats are, like, hammering, and, you know, the one cat hits the other cat with the hammer, and the cat gets pissed off and starts attacking the other. That's obviously AI. I'm not that stupid. But, you know, if you just see a video of, like, a street corner in St. Louis, and a vervet monkey goes running by, yeah, I'm probably going to buy that monkey was running in St. Louis. It's realistic enough. Obviously, again, I bought the ones with the raccoons getting into the Halloween candy, the Halloween decorations, spooking them and them running away. That's believable to me. You give me something believable with an animal in it, I'm going to buy it. Which is scary to say, but this is the world we live in, as I can't trust my own eyes when it comes to animal videos anymore. All right. Well, Sean, that wasn't a great dream analysis, but I really don't have much for you except for maybe stay away from the wildlife when you're down at the Piro Sabor Festival. So, hope you're having a good time. One more call here. Maybe. There we go.
Hey, Nick. It's Tyler from York, Pennsylvania.
What up?
So I just listened to your most recent podcast about the whole, like, cigar pages on Facebook and stuff, like booted from everything and all that shit. I was kind of wondering if you ever thought about maybe taking like the parishioners group level about maybe having like a parishioners Discord group. Basically, like you could do the whole thing again. Basically, they can do everything that they do on Facebook, like share what they're smoking and stuff like that. But they can also have like group herfs on there. We could do like voice chat, video chat, like with some of the other guys in there. So I think it'd be pretty cool, like for other people to like get to know each other a little bit better, and like, you know, actually have like group herfs and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. And also, I love that you're just getting into Peaky Blinders. That is one of my favorite shows on Netflix. I'm actually getting ready to rewatch it again here soon. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the parishioners Discord group. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, love to hear your take, and also about some of the other guys. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on it. Maybe some of you guys would be interested in doing it. So, let me know. Stay safe, stay smoky, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.
Thanks for the call, Tyler. First of all, Peaky Blinders, I'm digging it. I'm trying to think. I watched a couple more episodes. I'm nearly finished with the first season. I dig it. I mean, Cillian Murphy's awesome, and Sam Neill is also awesome. So, like, you've got two really, really good actors in this show, and it's kind of, it's gangsters. It's old-timey gangsters, but it's still gangsters, and that's my jam. So, I'm digging it. Discord. Okay. This is where I'm going to be the old man. So I don't have a whole lot of Discord experience. My only real Discord experience is when I first got into cigars. It was right around, it was July of 2018 that I bought the first one. And so 2019 was a heavier year. 2019 is when I launched the podcast. So I would say late 2019, late-ish 2019 into 2020, the beginning part of 2020. A lot of people were doing these like online cigar group things. there were a lot of them at that time. I don't even have any idea how many of them are even still around or anything like that. But like there was the Ash. What the fuck was the name of it? It had the skull. I don't know. Anyway, Ash Holes. Maybe it was Ash Holes. There was a couple others, but the one I'm specifically going to reference here is the barrel burners. Somehow or another, somebody, I don't know if it was a listener, somebody recommended you should do the barrel burners, blah, blah, blah. So I got into it. And, part of joining the barrel burners at the time was you had to participate in the barrel burners Discord chat. And so I downloaded the Discord app and I'm checking in and I'm texting, and it's just a giant, I mean, at the time, I don't know, maybe it's different now. Maybe I never fully explored it. Maybe they've expanded it and made it bigger. They obviously have done something because a lot of people are on it. And it was just a giant message board, and people would just kind of go in and check in and, what are you smoking, blah, blah, blah. And you'd chat and this and that and whatever. But you had to get to a certain level in that Discord group before you qualified for membership. And so like I spent so much time doing that. And it was one of those things where it was weird. Sorry. I heard like a whole lot of rustling around in the garage with me. And I'm the only one in here. And so I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was just really windy outside and I was hearing something there. But anyway, weird. I got ghosts in the garage now, apparently. I'm actually less worried about ghosts in the garage and more worried about like fucking raccoons or birds or something. Anyway, I spent a lot of time leveling up to get to the point where I qualified for membership and could get like a patch and this kind of thing. I mean, it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, the ROI on this maybe wasn't the best, but I did it. And I burned myself out on it. So after I hit the level that I needed to join, I crashed out in terms of participation. I got my shit and I left. Like, that was it. So at this point, I'm probably not even considered a member anymore. They've probably booted me from the rolls because I'm not participating and all this and everything. And that's fine. It's what it is. But I met some good people in there, and that's good. It's not like it was a wasted experience. It just, it was, one of those things where it's done and, I did it and that's that, which brings me to my point about Discord. That has been my experience with Discord. And because that has been my experience with Discord, I have been kind of hesitant to think about, doing anything with the pulpit on there, only because it also becomes one of those things where it's like, how many things do I have going on? And so I guess my point to all of this is I'm open to the idea, but I would also be perhaps more open to the idea if somebody were interested in taking the reins of something like that, where, maybe we establish this pulpit Discord channel. I have like administrator, like an administrator role with, a couple other admins, and that way I don't have to be babysitting it 24/7. Other people can, be more active and engaged, and I can pop in and see what's what, and we can do, and to be honest, the HERF thing, I love that idea. That is something that there was a lot of during COVID, and obviously after COVID, it kind of went away. But I actually like that idea. I had some really good chats and conversations with people over Zoom during COVID, sitting in my garage having a cigar. So, honestly, I wouldn't be against the idea of doing that. And I think, I don't know, I need to look and see what my Zoom membership allows in terms of total capacity. I mean, we could probably, I've been threatening to schedule one, just myself, just for you guys. Just here's the Zoom information. Come and join me and we'll sit and have a cigar sometime. Again, that comes down to just time. I don't know when is a good time for everybody. I know weekends tend to be busy, but weekdays people have work and things of that nature. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm down for things. I just can only add so much to my plate. And so if somebody is interested and maybe knows more about Discord, that they want to kind of take on this project and whatever, I mean, I'd be open to it. I would just, it'd be one of those things, kind of like there's the Friends of the Cigar Authority group on Facebook. The Cigar Authority, that is not an official Cigar Authority group. That's not, they're in it. I think Mr. Jonathan technically might be an admin now, but, they're in it and they participate, but like, it's kind of like theirs, but not theirs. And I guess what I'm saying is like this Discord thing, it could almost be like a pulpit thing, but not necessarily me doing it, if that makes sense. So like, I guess I'm open. We can talk, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, things can happen. We just need to wrap heads around it. So anyway, that was a long rambling explanation there. But I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the call, and I appreciate the desire to engage and to take part. 'Cause, I like that. And I think that that's part of the fun of smoking cigars is, meeting other people and engaging other people and talking to them and getting to know them and having a good time. So I appreciate the thought there, Tyler. All right. Well, guys, that has been another Ask the Pulpit. You can get your calls in for a future session by calling the hotline at area code 863-874-0000. Alrighty. I am digging my Padron Ruby Red. I've gotten it obviously down to the point that I had to take the bands off, and it's smoking really, really well. I'm digging the hell out of it. And now let's go ahead and where's my button? There it is. Jump into this. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Alrighty, so as I said, I have watched a couple more episodes of Peaky Blinders. I've been digging that, and that's kind of the extent, because I did have my son this weekend, so of course we watched a lot of Storybots again, and a lot of PBS cartoons. That just tends to happen when he's around. But that's okay. That's fine. Every 2 weeks, I learn all about what happens when you flush your toilet, and how do ears hear, and how do we get electricity, and how do volcanoes work, and things of that nature. It's fun. But moving on, we have the Desert Island Entertainment, and this will be round 2 of that. In terms of this, I said, what books, movies, music do you want to have on a desert island with you? We don't necessarily always have to have all three. It can just be, maybe this time I have a movie. Maybe this time I have a book. Maybe this time I have a book and a music. Maybe I have a movie and a music, that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be all three. Because when I sat down tonight to try and figure out those things, two things came to mind, a movie and a book. To be honest, music-wise, as I sit here, I can think of a third. I can think of a music. I just had it. So, all right. I'm going to get into this. So, movie. So the last time I did this, I mentioned that Ghostbusters was my favorite movie. So I figured, well, what are my other favorite movies? And another movie that's a giant, I will always stop on it if it's like on TV and I'm not that I even do that anymore because I don't have the ability to flip channels. But if, let's say, I'm in a hotel room and I'm flipping channels and I encounter this movie, I will always stop. And if sometimes it's just one of those movies that it just hits and I love it, and it's probably got one actor's best role ever in it, and it's 1993's Tombstone. The story of the Earp brothers heading out to the West and encountering the Cowboys and their battle with the Cowboys and everything like that. It's got Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp and Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. And Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday is easily, in my opinion, his best role. I don't think he did a lot of really good roles, really good movies. He was a good actor in a lot of things, but I think Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, I think that crushed it. I think that was like the pinnacle for him. And I dug the hell out of it. It's easily one of my favorite movies. It came out, and there it went. Damn it. It came out at the same time as another movie about the Earp brothers, Wyatt Earp. And Wyatt Earp just wasn't as good. Tombstone just crushed it. And it was just so good. And I highly recommend it. I can't imagine most people have not seen it, at least my age. Most people my age have probably seen it. If you're somebody younger, and I don't know how many younger people are listening to this podcast, but if you're significantly younger than me, maybe you haven't encountered it. But like it's one of the best Westerns I think that has come out in the last, well, shit. We're over 30 years now. We're at like 33 years for that movie. So I guess I'd say it's probably one of the best Westerns in the last 40 years. But yeah, Tombstone. Love that movie. Book. Calvin and Hobbes is one of my favorite newspaper comic strips. Bill Watterson did amazing work in that strip. Not just the artwork, which some of the strips that he did, he put so much into it. Like some were very simple, but some were so elaborate. Like when he did the Spaceman Spiff strips, where Calvin was the space age adventure, he's doing all these like alien landscapes and shit like that. But some of the artwork in Calvin and Hobbes is just out of this world. Well, there's a book called Looking for Calvin and Hobbes, and it's by Nevin Martell. And basically, it's kind of an unauthorized look at Bill Watterson, his like career, kind of what got him into and doing Calvin and Hobbes, and ultimately the decisions that led to Watterson deciding to end the strip. It talks a lot about Watterson's decision not to go crazy with merchandising. There's not official Calvin and Hobbes shit out there. Very little, actually. When you find a Hobbes stuffed animal, it's technically not official. All the Calvin peeing on car logo stickers and this and that, whatever, 100% bootleg, not official. Watterson wanted to avoid all that. He thought that like what Garfield and Peanuts have done, where they like marketed the hell out of themselves and like had toys and calendars and this and that. I think there was maybe a Calvin and Hobbes calendar, but like, you know, but like all the stuff, Watterson wanted to avoid that. He thought it diluted the property, it diluted the art, and for him it was all about the strip. And so, I would recommend. They have some really nice complete Calvin and Hobbes book sets out there. They had one that came out a long time ago that was hardback, and that's amazing. But I think that now, if you were to look for it, I think they have ones that are soft cover, much more affordable. Still not exactly a cheap date. You're probably looking at about $100. Oh, I don't know. It's been a while since I bought it, but you know, they have the soft cover versions, which, to be honest, those aren't bad. You know, they're more volumes in the box, but it's still a very nice presentation. But if you're gonna if you're a Calvin and Hobbes person, I would recommend looking for Calvin and Hobbes as like your companion book to go along with the strip, because it kind of gives a lot of insight. And even though it's an unauthorized kind of deal, he talks with a lot of people that know and have interacted with or worked with Watterson, either at the syndicate or other cartoonists and things of that nature. So even though it's unauthorized, he's kind of through other 6 degrees of Bill Watterson, kind of getting into the guy's head a little bit. So it's a good book. It's a good read. I enjoy it. And I would recommend that if you're into Calvin and Hobbes. Finally, music-wise, going that direction, last year I went and saw Tears for Fears at the outdoor amphitheater venue here in St. Louis, and that leads me to my music choice for this time. I really dig songs from the Big Chair. Now, obviously, you know, you've got Everybody Wants to Rule the World on that album. Fantastic song. But you've got Shout. You've got all kinds of other really good songs on that album. And it's just, it's like, there are some albums that, for bands, if you're going to go through their you know, catalog, you would say, okay, you're introducing them to somebody new. What album would you recommend to somebody to say, okay, this is like kind of quintessential? I would say Songs from the Big Chair would be quintessential for Tears for Fears. Their newest one that they came out with, which was, oh shit. Hang on. I can tell you this. That one, their newest one they came out with, was, not too long ago. It was only a couple years ago. And that album was called, The Tipping Point. Came out in 2022. That album, it has some really good music on it, and it was nice because it was one of those things. It's a new album from an older band, and sometimes that's not necessarily like the best, like, you know, thing, but it worked and it was good, and I enjoyed like quite a bit of that. And that's actually when I saw them playing at anyone from St. Louis that grew up here will say Riverport. Technically, it's like the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, but it's fucking Riverport forever. So it's what it is. But they were playing some of that music along with some of the older contemporary or stuff that we all know and love. And I just brought up songs from the Big Chair. You got Shout. There's Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Mother's Talk. You got Head Over Heels is another really good one. I mean, there's some really good songs on this album, so I would recommend that. they have a lot of album, and they have songs that you don't even realize that is theirs. Like everybody is all about, the one from Donnie Darko. Fuck. Hang on. Was it on this album? Mad World. Everybody remembers the version from the movie Donnie Darko. But that was a Tears for Fears song. And I distinctly remember being at that concert and like people being around me and they're like, wait, why are they singing this? This is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. This was them first. And then it was covered for Donnie Darko and, that kind of thing. So it's anyway, bottom line, my movie was Tombstone, the book Looking for Calvin and Hobbes, and the music Songs from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. Okay, well, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and do this now.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed. As I puff on that to try and keep it going. All right, bringing up my list here and looking at it to determine what I have smoked in the last little bit. Boy, I have smoked a lot of the same shit. A lot of common stuff here. I would say my first one that I want to mention, you know what? We're going to be kind of boring for a moment. I smoked a Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown Churchill, and I smoked another one of those. So right now it's currently in the lead for my most frequently smoked cigar again for this year. I've smoked 2 of them this year. It's just my comfort blanket. It's just that cigar that I know and love. My next one, see, some of these I've smoked, and you're going to hear about them on future episodes because I've been banking some episodes here. So going back to that whole when you have trips coming up, you got to bank episodes. So some of these I don't really want to mention, but I guess I may have to. Well, no, that one I put out, the EP Carrillo Allegiance. I did enjoy that cigar quite a bit. I did put that episode out. So, yeah. I did enjoy the EP Carrillo Allegiance. And the last one I smoked that I enjoyed that I want to give a shout out to was it was a Leaf by Oscar. Leaf by Oscar Maduro. And just one of those cigars that, boy, for a while it was like all the rage, and now I don't really hear much about Leaf by Oscar as much. And realistically, I don't hear much about Oscar that much anymore, which is sad because Oscar's a great dude and I like his cigars a lot. I don't know if it's just a regional thing. Maybe he doesn't have anybody really repping my area, and so because of that, I don't hear much. But I don't hear a whole lot out of Oscar these days. But the Leaf by Oscar Maduro, man, it's a quality cigar. It's smoked wonderfully. And that packaging, it's super unique, and everybody, it catches your attention. So yeah, I'd say the Leaf by Oscar Maduro was my third one that I smoked and enjoyed this week. So, alrighty. Well, socials. I am available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun there. I am on Twitter /X where I don't really do much. You can watch me on Rumble and YouTube. And I do need your calls. So give the call to the hotline. comments, questions, concerns, whatever. You heard some of them, so you get the point. Give us a call. Area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. And head on over to cigarpulpit.com to sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. Unless something horrifically tragic has happened, the first newsletter has gone out. By the time this airs, the first newsletter will have hit inboxes. So unless something really weird has happened and life has gone all sorts of upside down, which, let's put it this way. If when this comes out on Tuesday, you have not received that newsletter, realize that somewhere I am stressing out incredibly about trying to get it put together and out, because that was like supposed to have happened on Monday. So for what it's worth, if you haven't gotten it yet, then just realize that, yeah, it's causing me a lot of stress. But hopefully it went out, and the first one is out in the world for people to enjoy. It's going to be a work in progress. You guys are going to tell me, oh, I like this, I don't like this, whatever. You need to add this, that kind of thing. We'll figure it out. But for right now, that should be there. So head on over to cigarpulpit.com. The little box pops up. You can sign up for the newsletter, and you'll be on the list for future editions. The other thing, somebody brought this up to me on Facebook, and they said that maybe for the Ask the Pulpit, if maybe somebody doesn't want to call the hotline, they want to just send me a message, then I should take emails. I will always take an email. It's been nice to have the back end, the other voices. It kind of mixes things up a little bit, audio wise. You guys get to hear other voices, and it's not just me droning on for, an hour and a half. But feel free, always feel free to send me an email at Nick, N-I-C-K, at cigarpulpit.com. That's Nick at cigarpulpit.com. You can email me, just in the subject line, just put, Ask the Pulpit, okay to read or something like that, just so that I know that it's for the show and not just for us to bounce back and forth. I'm going to always assume that it's not for air unless you tell me that it's for this segment and for the air. If you tell me that, then I'll know, okay, good. I'll stick it aside and I'll wait and I'll read it on the show. So, but yeah, feel free to email me. If you're not comfortable calling the hotline, if you're shy or, whatever, feel free to email me, and we will start adding emails into the Ask the Pulpit experience as well. It actually started off originally that way. Originally, Ask the Pulpit was written messages, and then I got the hotline. This is way back when. Then I got the hotline, and we started doing the phone calls, and that seemed to kind of take off. But the emails, that's where it all originally started, was emails, Facebook posts, things of that nature. I'd like to not do Facebook posts. I'd like to keep it just email and phone. Because if I got to start digging around in like 8 different places to find stuff, direct message, things of that nature, stuff's going to get lost. So I would say, if you want to take part in the Ask the Pulpit, call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000, or email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com. All right, guys. Well, this is a show. I have thoroughly enjoyed my Padron Ruby Red. I'm down to just a little bit left, so I only have a little bit to enjoy after the camera goes off. But I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your day to listen, and for calling in and giving me people to bounce off of. And, keep on listening. I know coming up on Friday, we are going to be celebrating National Pie Day here on Cigar Pulpit. So if you are into pie, you won't want to miss that, because I will be pairing pies and cigars. We're going to go down the rabbit hole of talking about what cigars pair well with what types of pie. And then the 27th, that's up the air. I'm figuring that out. I still have that to record, because, again, pre-recording for a little bit. But then on the 30th, I will be announcing the Cigar of the Year, the Parishioner Cigar of the Year. That is one more point to bring up, I guess, right here at the end. Voting has concluded. I have done all the math, and the winner was a clear winner. However, second place and third place were separated by 3 points. Super tight. Like, honestly, one vote for the third place in a different place. One more vote for the cigar that got third would have probably rocketed it up to second. And then fourth place was very close to second and third. Fifth place, and I'm only going to worry about top five. Fifth place was 2 points behind fourth place. So first place was a far and away winner, but second through fifth was very tight. So there was a lot of competition in that bracket. After fifth place, it starts to scatter out and become more open. But no, you guys, a lot of you participated. I appreciate that greatly. It's fun. I like doing the Cigar of the Year this way because, again, it's not me telling you what the Pulpit Cigar of the Year is, because my palate is not your palate. It's not, Joe's palate. It's not Steve's palate. It's my palate. And so, I can do my own personal top cigars of the year. As I have in the past. I haven't done that this year. To be honest, after looking at my list, there's a few cigars that came out this past year that I did smoke that I enjoyed. But sometimes getting a hold of, I don't chase a lot of brand new cigars. And so sometimes it's one of those things where, the new cigar just kind of comes and goes, and I don't do it, and that's fine. Anyway, what I like about the Parishioners one is it's you guys telling me what you enjoy. It's consumers telling the manufacturers what they enjoy. And it's purely just a simple weighted vote situation. I ask you guys to pick your top 5 favorites on the ballot, and so for every cigar, when you pick a cigar and put it in first place, it gets 5 points. Second place gets 4, third gets 3, fourth gets 2, and fifth gets 1 point. And so all that happens is at the end, I tally up the votes, I tally up the points, and we determine what cigar has the most amount of points. And so, sometimes a cigar may not necessarily have the most first place votes, but it may have enough votes across the board to where it becomes kind of that universal favorite. This was obviously not the case this year. The cigar that won this year, like I said, it ran away with the point totals, but it ran away with first place votes as well. So, you guys very clearly enjoyed this cigar a lot. And anyway, so no, on the January 30th episode, we will have the manufacturer that put out that cigar on so that we can celebrate with them, and you guys can learn what that cigar is. So anyway, thank you all for taking time out. I truly do appreciate it. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smoky. Take it easy, everybody.